Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of your OGR. As today is game 39, as the Edmonton Oilers went up against the Nashville Predators and walked away with another big victory, 3-2, as we beat them in the shootout. As it was a game where the Edmonton Oilers once again played really well. This was one of the better games that I gotta say. I was really impressed by the way that we played 5-on-5. We definitely been taking it a step up almost every single night, and it looked like we had a little bit of energy in our step last night, which was really good to see. Koskinen stepped up big time. McDavid absolutely broke Saros' ankles in that shootout. So before we get all into that, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, boys, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That'll be very much appreciated, boys. So let's get into this big old episode here with the Edmonton Oilers, as we were going up against the Preds, and I was predicting that this game wasn't going to go so great for the Oilers. I was saying that, this is a team that has whooped our ass before, and the Preds have. The Preds have absolutely handed us a bare-ass spanking before, and we haven't really played great against the Preds. This is a team that, we do all right against, but tonight, it seemed like we were just a completely, different team, especially 5-on-5. We had a rough start of the first period, but once we started gaining some momentum and, actually using our speed, which I think is something that is very underrated with this team, is if we could actually start using our speed and getting in the corners and picking that puck out, we play absolutely amazing. But once we start moving our legs and we just start becoming lazy and, start passing the puck too much and we're not shooting enough, or we're just, not moving our legs, then we just start looking like complete ass 5-on-5. The first period and then through a little bit of the second, we were not doing fantastic. Once we get the power play, we started gaining some momentum, getting multiple scoring chances, especially after the Matt Duchene goal, which was an absolute howitzer. We're going to get into that much later on as well. But yeah, let's get into talking about the goal scoring between the both of the teams. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers once again allowed in the first goal, and I don't blame Koskinen for this one. This is going to be a pretty hard one to save. Philip Forsberg with an absolute beautiful of a shot from the point with getting his 22nd goal of the season. Now, Nurse screened him, basically. Nurse and I think Carrier was in front of the net as well. They came flying in. Nurse cut off the line of vision from Koskinen. Forsberg took a perfect shot at the perfect time, right when Nurse was cutting in, and it went right into the back of the net, and there's really nothing you could do about it. In that situation, you wish that, Nurse didn't come in that certain situation, but it is his job to clear out the player. He just didn't do a great job of it, and he screened his own goalie, and Forsberg took absolutely advantage of that and picked the corner perfectly, beating Mikko Koskinen for once again, as the Oilers allow the first goal in once again, and if we do make it into the playoffs this year, which is a good chance that we do, especially since we're going on a bit of a winning streak right now, even though I was saying that this team might not make it, there's still a 50% chance that we do make it into the playoffs. But even if we do, if we keep allowing this first goal in every single game, we're not going to make it out of the first round. And that's the biggest factor. We got to stop allowing that first goal in. We got to be that team that gets that first goal, or we're just not going to win these types of games. And, that's been evident by us going 2-11 during December and a little bit into January, where we're starting to finally win some games now, but we are rallying back pretty good, but we're not going to be able to do that every single night, to be completely honest with you. We did play very good 5-on-5, but, sometimes that first goal takes just the wind right out of you. And at least in these past few games, it hasn't, but we got to stop allowing the first goal in. I think that's the biggest thing moving forward here for the Edmonton Oilers. But then Connor McDavid, he bites right back using his speed, dashing right on in and tucks it right underneath the pad of Juuse Saros as he got right past Matt Benning and put in his 21st goal of the season. And what a beautiful goal it was. A beautiful assist by Nuge and a good breakout by the Oilers as McDavid just dashed up, got a huge goal for the Edmonton Oilers to tie the game up at 2, or up at 1, I meant. Which was really good to see. We ended off the first period pretty good. We were gaining a little bit of momentum midway. We didn't generate a whole lot near the end, but that big goal was really what helped us out. Getting into the second period, it was a really slow start to the second period, but, once we started, we were getting some chances. There was a delayed penalty, which we were just absolutely nailing them on that fourth line The fourth line was out there. I think it was McCarn and a few other guys, and our top line was out there, and we were just on the attack, ripping apart, getting multiple chances. Weren't able to bury any of them because, I mean, Juuse Saros was just an absolute god throughout the night. He saved 44 of the 46 shots that he's seen throughout the night, and he was just absolutely amazing and was the reason why the Nashville Predators really stayed in this game. But Matt Duchene scored an absolute beautiful of a goal, not too far away from that. He scored his 21st goal of the season, and it was a beautiful snipe. Now, I don't know what the hell Duncan Keith was doing here defensively. I don't know if he was trying to pinch so they don't send the puck up. But then, in my opinion, watching over the play, if you guys watch over the play once again of Duncan Keith, the way that he plays defensively in this situation, Matt Duchene flies past Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith doesn't think anything of it. Of course, when, Matt Duchene flies on past him, it gives it a 2-on-1 as they were able to sauce the pass over to Duchene, which Forsberg made a beautiful pass over to Duchene, allowed a 2-on-1, and Matt Duchene picked the corner right on Mikko Koskinen, right on the glove side. Now, you could blame Mikko Koskinen for this, but this could have been stopped if Duncan Keith actually played defense and seen that, hey, Matt Duchene's about to fly right by you. Maybe it's time to start booking it by and not pinch the way that Duncan Keith was thinking of pinching. Because he was thinking of fucking pinching in this situation, and I don't know why he was thinking that. And honestly, throughout the entire night, Duncan Keith and Cody Ceci had a piss-poor night. Duncan Keith had 3 giveaways. He was just atrocious defensively. Really bad night for Duncan Keith and Cody Ceci. They were just not looking phenomenal at all. And really, really bad night. They were just not my favorite guys. The passes that Duncan Keith was making in the last game, he just was not making. And like I've been saying, we cannot play Duncan Keith and Cody Ceci way too much because it's going to show. And example A, when you play these guys too much, it shows and they start slowing down in their game. And just Duncan Keith was just all over the place tonight. He was just not the defenseman we need him to be. And he's just looked atrocious last night. But anyways, Evan Bouchard bounced right back and tied up at the game at 2 with a beautiful goal by Evan Bouchard as it went off of multiple skates and ran to the back of the net to tie the game up as Evan Bouchard gets his 9th goal of the season to tie the game up. And in the third period, I thought, we were doing pretty good. We didn't generate a whole lot of good things, but we were, in the offensive zone for most of the time, and that's good. But I feel like if we're in the offensive zone majority of the time, I feel like we should be able to generate a lot more scoring chances than what we were able to. We still did very good shutting down the Nashville Predators, but, they're not an offensively potent team. So it's not that difficult to do. Even then, we didn't do that bad 5-on-5. This was probably one of the better games I've seen this team play 5-on-5. It wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't too bad. It was probably one of our better nights that we played 5-on-5. Then we headed off to overtime, which I still don't know why Dave Tippett plays Duncan Keith in the 3-on-3 over Evan Bouchard. That kind of boggles my brain because, in my opinion, 3-on-3 is fast hockey. Why are we playing Duncan Keith, who can barely skate half the time, over Evan Bouchard? That makes absolutely no sense to me, and I think Evan Bouchard should be playing on the 3-on-3 with Darnell Nurse as well. I think it should be Darnell Nurse playing alongside of McDavid and Draisaitl or whatever they want to do for that forward core, and then Evan Bouchard as the second defenseman. I think that's what you got to do. It's the smartest idea to do because Duncan Keith is not that fast. And if he has to skate his ass back when someone is in a breakaway, he's not making it back. So I think Evan Bouchard, without a doubt, needs to be on the 3-on-3. Don't know why they've been playing Duncan Keith because he really just had an atrocious game. Then we had in the shootout. Everyone didn't score, but for Mr. Connor McDavid on his second round, and it was an absolute gorgeous. He was just stick handling so quick. Went to the right back, broke Saros' ankles, and it sniped it right into the back of the net for a big old W for the Edmonton Oilers as we improve our record to 21-16-2, which I'm pretty happy about. We're starting to gain some ground a little bit. We're starting to gain some momentum. We're only 2 points back of the Calgary Flames right now, which is good for us, We're actually finally starting to put together some wins, and this is what I wanted to see from this team. What we were seeing from December and midway through January was not a playoff team. And now what we're seeing a little bit now is, yeah, you could say that this is a little bit of a playoff team. Even if we do squeak in, we're not making it out of the first round. And I will say that. Even though Ryan Whitney was saying if we, add Evander Kane onto the team, we could make it to the conference finals. No. This defensive core, and the way that we play 5-on-5, it's not a playoff team, without a doubt, especially since we allow the first goal every single time is just, it's ranked. You don't want to allow the first goal in, and it's just, you don't want that to happen. Anyways, moving on to analyzing each line. The Nuge, McDavid, Yamamoto line, I thought they were absolutely excellent throughout the entire night. They had a really good night, generated a lot of momentum. I thought they were absolutely phenomenal. Fogle, I've not been a big fan of Fogle over the past few nights. I thought he's really just not been that guy that we need him to be, especially up in that top six. Draisaitl and Puljujarvi didn't have too bad of a night. Hyman and McLeod, I really like that pairing between the both of them. I'm really not a big fan of having Zach Kassian alongside of them. I'd rather see somebody like Benson. But since we're adding Kane onto the lineup on Saturday, it should actually bolster up the lineup a little bit. And we might be able to see like Fogle drop down to that third line to play alongside of Hyman and McLeod. So we do have some options that we could even do for the third line. Skeever, Ryan, and Shore, I still don't know why we're playing Shore. I'm going to say that every episode. I still don't know why we're playing Short, because he just does not look right out there. For defensively, Nurse and Bouchard had a phenomenal night. I thought Nurse was one of our best defensemen out there throughout the entire night. Generated a lot of chances, playing really good defensively. And I thought that was the same with Bouchard. I thought he had a really good night as well. Keith and Cece, they had a really rough night. They were given on-man chances just all over the place. They were just having a really rough night. And Legason and Russell didn't have too bad of a night. They weren't terrible defensively. And then Mikko Koskinen was the man of the night, making the 28 saves out of 30 shots that he's seen on the night. And he was just absolutely amazing, making some really big saves for the team and really just being that big guy for the Edmonton Oilers throughout the entire night. So, great night for the Edmonton Oilers. We really were peppering shots. We still are having problems finishing. That's the biggest issue. But we were going up against a great goalie in Juuse Saros. So, I think there's some momentum to build upon here, that we were actually able to play really good 5-on-5 wise. And one thing I do want to note on that Evan Bouchard goal as well, I do want to talk about one thing that I forgot that I did want to talk about, is that we shoot way too many times from the point. And the reason why is it's old man hockey. This is old man hockey, and the reason why I bring this up is because every face-off win that we have in our own offensive zone is we shoot the puck right away from the point. Keith had 4 shots in the night, CC had 3, Nurse had 4, Bouchard had 4, and Legason had 2. That should not be the case. Honestly, that should not be the case for a team like us with the amount of skill we have. We should not be taking a shot every time we win a face-off in the offensive zone. I really do truly believe that. You look at a team like the Vancouver Canucks, who played, last night. 3 shots from Shannon, 3 shots from Larson, 2 shots from Hughes, and 3 shots from Myers. Not as much as what we've seen from us. And they had 33 shots in the night. You probably, you've seen a little bit more shots from the forward core. And that's what I want to see. I want to see a lot more shots from our forward core, more than I see from our defensive core. And not every time we win a faceoff, I don't want to see us take a shot. I want us to see us be creative. Move that puck around, looking for an open seam instead of just whipping it at the net every single time. It's not the 90s. We don't have small pads. These guys have big pads. And I think figuring out a smarter play is a better idea, especially since we have so much talent on our roster. It is unbelievable that we decide that every time we win a faceoff, we're just going to initially shoot the puck. It blows my mind. And I think we should be seeing some more shots from a lot of our more offensive players and giving the puck to them to be able to get some more opportunities. And then, of course, our finishing. Hopefully that'll improve with Evander Kane being added onto the roster, as he'll be making his debut on Saturday against the Montreal Canadiens. So we'll have to see how well he does in his debut game. And he hasn't played all year, so I'm definitely not expecting the greatest game from Evander Kane, but we'll have to see what happens on Saturday. But for now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios, amigos.